Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1250. I'm celebrating Women's History Month this March by having 21 inspiring women, the movers and shakers who work in the automotive industry. Here we go.
You have brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, automotive enthusiasts. I'm revved up and so excited to introduce today's very special guest, calling in from beautiful, sunny, warm St. Augustine, Florida. Lucky you, Lynn Kehoe. Lynn, are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
I am.
Awesome. Here we go. Lynn Kehoe is the founder and CEO of Shift Up Now. Her goal is to use motorsports to show girls and women how to develop courage and confidence so to succeed in achieving their personal and professional goals. She manages drivers for speaking engagements with groups to share their racing experience to help build leaders in the industry. She started racing in 2015 after spending 3 years moving up through the ranks in high-performance driving education programs. She earned her first competition license through the Sports Car Club of America, known as the SCCA, and holds a time trial license with the National Auto Sports Association. She has ice raced, which, whoa, we're slipping and sliding here already, with the Adirondack Motor Enthusiast Club, and she trained at Le Mans, France, attending a Porsche driving school, Stage GT3 RS. Lynn, you are one cool lady. Holy cow. Before Shift Up Now, Lynn had a successful career spanning 3 decades in the financial services industry, real estate investing, business development, and consulting. So, Lynn, I've told our listeners just a little bit about your exciting and busy life. Please take a moment to share a little bit more about your career and your new upstart business here and your passion for automobiles and racing.
Sure, Mark. Thanks a lot. So I started Shift Up Now not really as a conscious decision to start a racing program or an inspirational program, but it came out of comments that my friends were making about how brave they thought I was. And so something that never occurred to me, but I decided that I guess I kind of am brave. I went to an all-girls school, and that school, Stoneleigh Burnham School in Greenfield, Massachusetts. And as an all-girls school, girls do everything at the school. So we're all the school leaders. We're captains of all the teams. And that's followed me through my life. And so this was part of a giving back because there were so many things that were going on at the racetrack in my professional career. And I thought there's a way to pull all this together. And so I created Shift Up Now as a result of that. And it sort of put everything in one spot for me.
Well, I think it's really commendable what you're doing, because anytime you're helping, especially children, girls, young women, be more confident, and especially in areas where maybe men seem to dominate, like the auto sports, the automotive industry. That's why I did that this month. I had Lynn St. James on my show. Gosh, it's probably been 3 years now. And I see her out there championing women, helping women succeed, helping racers get into the industry, because that's still an industry that's a tough thing to get into. And I called her and said, hey, what do you think about me dedicating the entire month of March to women? Of course, what was she going to say? Bad idea, Mark.
Right.
I love it. Yeah. In fact, she's going to be the last woman on my show this month out of 21 women. So she'll kind of round out the deal. But I think it's great what you're doing. And we're going to learn a lot more about that. But first, I want to learn a lot more about you. So I'm going to ask you for a success quote or a mantra. This is some kind of saying that's been important to you. It's a nice way to get the inspirational tires turning here on Cars Yeah. So Lynn, take the wheel.
I have a couple of mantras and a couple of great quotes that I love, but the one that I decided I was going to share with you is, you have brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose.
Oh, very nice. I like that.
That is by Dr. Seuss.
Oh, well, even better. I love it. I grew up not too far from him. He lived up on the hill from me down in La Jolla, California. And I remember he came and talked at our junior high when I was there, which was, at the time, I thought I was too cool for Dr. Seuss because, you're a junior high kid. What do you know? But that's great. how have you used that or incorporated that into your talks with young women and girls and women who want to go into a bold new adventure in their life?
Right, sure. Well, we use a lot of analogies in Shift Up Now as we're talking to different people. The similarities of life in general and life on the racetrack lends to those analogies. And the message of steering yourself in a direction of your choosing plays into a lot of my career, because I think I wasn't always at the steering wheel of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's a good reminder that we've got the basic skill sets to be able to steer ourselves in the direction we want for our lives.
Great. Nice metaphor, too, when it relates to racing and driving and all of that. Yeah. I always think back to my driving school when I was learning to race. A guy's always saying, head up. Don't look to where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. Don't look at that wall.
Right.
Look at the apex. So it works in life, too. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes.
Very nice. Well, let's have you share a story that instigated your personal passion for cars. Is there a pivotal moment in your life and you knew, you know what, I'm a car gal?
Well, that's an interesting question, Mark, because I was not a car gal. I mean,
Okay.
I sort of always liked fast cars. And the reality is I never knew that normal people could get on a racetrack.
Oh.
And it never occurred to me that this was a sport. It never occurred to me that this is something I could do until I was at a real estate luncheon. It was a charity luncheon, and some guy put up a day at the racetrack as a charity auction item. And I thought, that's the coolest thing ever. So I bid on it and I won it. And it took me to New Jersey Motorsports Park with NASA, National Auto Sports Association.
Yeah.
And the first day was really sketchy. I mean, it had been a long time since I'd been in a stick shift automobile. So like trying to get in and out of third gear was a challenge. But the second day, boy, the whole thing came together for me. And seriously, I thought this is ridiculously fun. And that probably was the pivotal moment when I said, this is something I'm going to continue to do.
Cool. Good for you. That's awesome. Well, it's a great testament to what happens when you put yourself out of your comfort zone into your fear zone and you overcome that false evidence assumed real fear that,
Yes.
Maybe this isn't so scary. Maybe I can have some fun and I just need some seat time and I'll get better and better. And you've done that through driver's education courses, driving courses, and look, here you are now. So going real fast out on the track. Well, let's take a look at some of the roads you've driven down and talk about a big challenge or a failure. And the reason I ask this question, of course, is not so much to make you relive that time in life. It wasn't so fun, perhaps, but to share the experience because everyone's going through challenging times at one point or another. And it's how you think about them and how you look at what you learn from them that helps us move forward. So take us to one of those times that maybe wasn't so fun and kind of help us learn how it helped you grow and become better down the road.
I was in the real estate investment management business for a long time. And there were many days that I got up in the morning and truly hated what I was doing. And so I was trying to figure out what else could I do? And I hired a business coach. And every time I talked to her, she kept saying to me, well, what's the worst that could happen? And, I'd come up with ideas about what I thought I wanted to do, but why it wouldn't work. And she kept saying, well, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? I found myself a couple years later in the situation where the worst thing that could happen in my life happened. And that was the loss of my husband.
Oh, no.
And yes, it was tragic. But I'm standing, I'm driving. And so when you face really what is the worst thing that could happen in your life and you move on from there. So it opened my eyes to new experiences. And I had an opportunity, going back to my quote, steering in the direction that I wanted to go.
Right.
And I had no limitations. And
wow.
So that's kind of how I got on track. And, I do often think if my late husband would think I am crazy or bold. I'm not sure. I think a little bit of both, maybe.
I bet you he's looking down on you with extreme love and fondness. And bravery is a great word. I mean, no doubt. No doubt. He's got a
Right.
big smile on his face. My condolences for losing a spouse. I can't even imagine, especially after being married for 35 years like I have. It's unimaginable. I've had friends that have had to deal with this, and it's just a challenge. But you said something else that was really important, I believe, and that is you went out and seeked help. You found a coach. And a lot of people are timid about that. They're afraid to do that. I did that when I had left the previous job I was in. I was a little bit drifting, not sure what I wanted to do, and ended up talking to a really nice lady who just kept pointing me in directions I wasn't pointing in, steering me to a better place, let's say, to use your example. And then I hired another person to see, well, did she know what she was talking about? Because at this point in my life, I thought, well, I know what I want. Not really. I'm not really sure what I want. And the other person said the same thing. You need to go out and do something on your own for a change instead of building other people's businesses for them and then not having much to show for it other than some great experiences. So yeah, exactly. I think he had great advice. And I always tell people that seek help. Friends sometimes can be awesome coaches. Now, if they're people who are naysayers, you're talking to the wrong person. Go find somebody else. Yeah.
Right.
There are those, just go get a safe job, dear. You'll be fine.
Right. Well, and the other thing I think we need to recognize that we all can't be good at everything. And the reason that we seek out people to help us is to give us a different perspective on life. When I was starting Shift Up Now, I sought out another business coach, and it happened to be a woman who was a professional football player. When at some time several years ago, there was a professional women's football league.
Right.
And this woman, Jan Spence, was a professional female football player. So she could really relate to what I was trying to accomplish with Shift Up Now. So again, it's a different perspective. And so I think go ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength.
Absolutely. You look at the best run businesses, and those business owners do exactly that. They go seek help in areas where someone else can do the job better than they can. And that's how they succeed instead of trying to do it all themselves. So seen it over and over and over again. Well, let's have a little bit of fun and talk about your first really special vehicle. Maybe it was the first race car you got in and drove. I'm not sure, but take us there and share maybe a special memory about that ride.
Sure. So my special ride was 1982 Firebird.
Cool.
It was the new model style, the old Knight Rider style.
Yeah.
And I ordered that car. I picked every detail of it. And it was back in the days when getting an automatic was another $500. And I designed this car exactly the way I wanted it. And when I got to the transmission and realized I didn't have another $500 to spend, I decided how hard could it be to learn to drive a manual transmission.
Right.
So I ordered the car with a 5-speed. It came and I went to the dealership to pick it up. And I had to learn how to drive it.
Yeah, how am I going to get home?
But exactly. So I sputtered out of the dealership, but I loved that car.
Yeah, well, good for you. Good for you for going that route. Both my kids, I insisted their first cars were manual so that they had to engage with the vehicle versus the risk or in temptation of a cell phone or drinking something or whatever that might be. And both of them have said that was a great thing I did. They didn't my son was okay with it. My daughter didn't really like the idea very much. But,
that's funny.
But yeah, I think it's cool. So you go, girl. Yeah, manual transmission all the way. How about a car you've let go? Is there a seller's remorse story in your life?
Oh, yeah, I have a seller's remorse story. At some point, probably almost 20 years ago, my husband said I was going through a midlife crisis.
What, were you like 12?
Yeah, thank you. I'm thinking, no, it wasn't 20 years ago. It was probably 15 because it was a 2003 Maserati Spider.
Oh.
And yeah, they don't hold their value very well. So it was actually a car I could afford. It was old enough that when I was looking at buying it, it was affordable. But I went and I test drove it, and it was one of those things. My husband's like, "What do you want that car for?" And I said, "Oh, it's really pretty." And I loved that car. And I moved from Dallas, Texas to Philadelphia. And I was living right in Center City, Philadelphia. And it is not a place where one gets a lot of use with a Maserati. So
no.
I let it go.
Yeah.
And boy, if I could get that car back, I think I would.
What fun. Definitely. Yeah, not a city car. Not very good for that. But definitely a lot of fun. Well, that's a great way to buy some of those exotics is after somebody's taken that depreciation hit for 2 or 3 years. I mean, they just drop like a rock.
Absolutely.
And if they are a special car like that, most of the time people take pretty good care of them. So you can get a great car at a great price. Awesome tip. Well, I would love for you to share with our listeners what has you excited and fired up right now with Shift Up Now. Tell us more about it. Tell us more about what you're doing, what has you excited about it, and where you see it going in 2019.
All right. Well, first of all, I am very excited that in this journey to make Shift Up Now what it is today, I found myself the perfect partner to help me along the way. And it's a woman by the name of Karen Silvaggio.
Yes.
I got introduced to Karen as the team was starting to plan the 25 hours of Thunderhill. And one of my pro racers is a woman that your listeners are probably familiar with, Pippa Mann.
Oh, yeah.
I was introduced to her again by mutual friends who said, you two need to meet one another. When I was telling Pippa what I was going to do with Shift Up Now, she said, you've got to do the 25 hours of Thunderhill. It'll really put you on the map.
Yeah.
And being really naive about motorsports and racing, I said, sure, why not? And since I had no idea what I was doing, somebody said, talk to Karen Silvaggio. She's done this about 8 times, and she'll be a good person to help guide you on this journey. And not only was she a great person to guide me on this journey, but she has become a terrific friend, really another sister to me, and now my business partner.
Wow.
And so she and I are working on our plans for 2019. We're trying to figure out what races we're going to do. We're, as most racers do, trying to find sponsors and raise some money. We're super excited that along our way, we have picked up 4 pro racers. In addition to Pippa Mann, we've got Shay Holbrook, Ashley Freiberg, and Sarah Montgomery. So for our pro lineup, I think we've got, pretty much the cream of the crop. There's a few other female pros out there that I'd like to get on the team. So again, if anybody's listening, give me a call or find me online. So we're working on what we're going to do in our racing. We're also working on doing some school programs and some motivational speaking. We are hoping to have a big announcement probably May or June of this year with something else that we're doing that we're hoping will continue to put us on the map and give us some good press. We're definitely looking at doing the 25 hours of Thunderhill come December of 2019. We've been really grateful for the support of sponsors. Toyo Tires was one of our sponsors for the 25 last year, and we'll continue to work with them. We're sure they were, I think they got more than they bargained for because we started with 1 car and ended up with 2 at the 25.
Cool.
We're looking forward to a really robust season with a bunch of different drivers out there having Shift Up Now on their cars and hopefully getting a couple more title sponsors.
Very, very cool. Sounds like fun. Well, Shay's been a guest on my show. And of course, I started this month a tribute to women here at Cars Yeah with Karen Silvaggio. She was my very first guest. Love her. She's great. She was a great way to kick off this month celebrating women in motorsports and the automotive industry and all the great things that you guys do. So keep us informed what you're doing. I'll share all this on my social media with my followers. Love to hear the exciting things that you guys are doing. You've got a great, fun year ahead of you. So you go, girl, as I said before. This is fantastic. Well, Lynn, up next is the last lap. Before we put the pedal to the metal, let's say thank you to today's Cars Yeah sponsors. What's the worst thing for your car's interior? No, it's not that milkshake the kid spilled in the back seat. It's the sun. Harmful UV rays cook your automobile's interior hour after hour when it's parked outside, even on a cloudy day. What's the solution? Covercraft sunscreens. They protect your dash, seats, and interior finishes from those damaging UV rays while keeping the interior temperature tolerable, even on the hottest summer days. No more painfully sizzling seats and steering wheels for you. They unfold quickly and easily install, stay where you put them, and are custom patterned for an exact fit. The foam core acts as a cooling insulator, and you can get yours in different colors and finishes. And they even fold up easily and store under your seat or on the floor. I've used Covercraft sunscreens for years, and they are a fast and easy solution that protect my beloved cars when they're not in the garage. Learn more and order yours at covercraft.com. Want to protect your entire vehicle? Get a car cover from Covercraft. They have those too. That's covercraft.com, and tell them Mark sent you. Are you looking for a way to get your products or services into the ears of thousands of automotive enthusiasts around the globe? I can help. This is Mark Green here at Cars Yeah, and I'd be honored to be an influencer and ambassador for your brand in a unique and personal way. 5 days a week, thousands of subscribers and listeners enjoy the Cars Yeah podcast and website. Contact me today and I'll show you how at mark@carsyeah.com or connect with me through the Cars Yeah website at carsyeah.com. Hey, Mark Green here from the Cars Yeah podcast. Did you know you can now see me on the Cars Yeah TV show? That's right. Cars Yeah is now on MAV TV. I visit some of the past Cars Yeah guests and take you along for the ride. Go to mavtv.com to learn more where you can enjoy Cars Yeah TV. MAV TV is also available on DirecTV, Fubo TV, Fios by Verizon, or you can stream it through mavtv.com online. And they said I only had a face for podcasting. All right, Lynn, we're back, and I have a very introspective question for you. If you woke up tomorrow and you were a vehicle parked in the garage, manifested into a vehicle, what would you be and why?
I actually wouldn't be the whole car, Mark.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I would be the engine.
The engine, the power. Okay.
Well, I would be the engine because I'm the kind of person that wants other people around me to share the ride.
Cool.
And I'm the one who can get things started, but I'm somebody who works well knowing that all of the other component parts are tied together and are going to make the whole thing work.
Nice.
So I don't know if anybody else has looked at it that way, but yeah, I'll be the engine.
You know, that's a very unique answer to that question. I've received a lot of unique answers, but never that one. And I love the philosophy you put behind it. It's exactly what you're doing with Shift Up Now. So bravo. Very nicely done. Great answer.
Thank you.
We're entering the last lap here. You've been in this position many times. The white flag's out. Time to put your foot into it. The checker flag is just down the road a ways. And I'm going to fire off a series of questions and ask you to give our listeners some very quick blips of the throttle answers. So here we go. What's the best automotive or racing advice you've ever received?
Check the oil.
Yeah, all the time. Pretty simple.
Check the oil. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do it, and it's a nasty thing when you don't keep that oil top off. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Very expensive. Would you share one of your personal habits you believe has contributed to your many successes over the years?
Yes, that would absolutely, without a doubt, be surround yourself with the very best people and the very smartest people you can possibly find.
Yeah, great advice. It's exactly what I've done here at Cars Yeah. Surrounded myself with 1,250 inspiring automotive enthusiasts. So I think I've taken your advice here. Yeah. All you folks that have been on the show have helped me in many, many ways. I'm very appreciative. How about a resource? There are so many cool resources these days. Is there one you'd like to share?
Well, there's a lot that I'd like to share, and partly because I have so many sponsors and people who have helped me along the way. I don't know how much time you'll allow me to do this, but can I run through a quick list?
Of course. Right. Absolutely.
First and foremost, I've got to thank Toyo Tires, NASA, National Auto Sports Association, who really got me into this. Drive Gear Racing, Rees Racing in Cummings, Georgia, Mosler Motorsports, Parkhurst Performance, Panzer Performance, all of whom have worked on cars for me. Discovery Parts in Dawsonville, Georgia, who outfits me with my gear. Felicio Foods, St. Clair Foods, Barbara Llewellyn Catering, who fed us really well at the 25 hours.
Cool.
Blackfly Outfitters, Precision Plumbing out of Portland, Oregon. For anybody who really wants to get inside the head of a female racer, Anne Morey does a great blog called The Gentle Woman Racer. So those are great resources for people to get their cars done, get their gear, and get inside the head of a female race car driver.
It's not as scary a place as you think. I promise.
It is not. It is not.
At least for us guys, that's for sure. You might be a little intimidated, though, because it's a pretty intriguing place. I'm getting there every day with all these great women I've had on the show, so I'm getting to learn you gals a little bit better. But, after 35 years of marriage, I don't think I have it quite figured out. My wife might have a different opinion of that. I'm trying. If I could arrange for you to sit down and have a drink with anyone in the automotive industry, living or deceased, who would that be?
I'd actually like to have that drink with two women. One is Mary Barra, and the other is Katya Bassi, who's the chief marketing officer at Lamborghini.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to both those ladies. Yeah, maybe we can set that up. That would be cool. How about a book you've read? Is there one you'd like to share?
Yes, I'd like to share a book called A Place of Yes, and it's written by Bethany Frankel, and she is you might know her from Shark Tank. She's the woman behind Skinny Girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Skinny Girl margaritas and now a whole product line.
Wow.
And she wrote a great book of inspiration and can-do attitude called A Place of Yes.
Very nice. First time that book's been recommended. I'll remind our listeners you can find that book and a lot of cool books on the Cars Yeah website under Guest Recommended Books. I've got easy click to buy set up for you there. So many great books that my guests have recommended, just like this one by Bethany Frankel, A Place of Yes. All right, Lynn, we are up to the checkered flag, and this last question could be a bit of a doozy. Today, I'm going to buy you any car on the planet, any cool collector car on the planet. Doesn't matter where it is or who owns it, what museum it's in, even if it's one of Ralph Lauren's cars, I'm going to bring it to your house down there in Florida so you can have some fun. But there's a couple rules to this little game here. One is you can't sell it to buy a bunch of other toys with or racing gear or tires or engines. You got to keep it. Number two, you got to drive it. No garage queens allowed. And number three, it's the only cool collector car you can have. So you better choose wisely, my friend.
So I'm going to ask you to deliver the car I wanted when I bought my very first car and couldn't afford it. I want an old Mustang convertible.
Oh,
like
okay.
Something mid-60s.
Okay. I think I could do that. You're not a super expensive date. That's pretty good. Yeah. You know, I was getting a little nervous being a racer. I know the kind of taste you race car drivers have. An old Mustang convertible, mid-60s. Well, you know, if we stuff with like a 66, that kind of classic look would be kind of cool. And, you know, old Carroll Shelby did make a couple GT350 Shelby Mustangs that were convertibles. I think maybe you might need something with a little more speed.
Absolutely.
You think so? Okay. Do you have a color you'd like?
Navy blue would be great.
Oh, okay. I look nice down there by the ocean in Florida. So
absolutely.
Yeah, maybe a nice white interior would be kind of cool. So nice contrast. Go with your yacht, you know. That would look pretty nice down there.
A classic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Lynn, you've taken me on a great ride today. A ride around the track. I knew it would be exciting with you. I've really enjoyed getting to know you better. I want to thank you for sharing your story and your journey with the Cars Yeah listeners. Could you offer us one little parting piece of wisdom or guidance before you rip off into the sunset in that old Mustang convertible?
The piece of advice I would give is don't wait. Whatever it is in your life, don't wait. Just do it.
Absolutely. Words of wisdom. And could you tell our listeners a little bit more about how they can follow you and learn more about Shift Up Now?
Yes, actually, we've got a website that is shiftupnow.com, and all of our social media is Shift Up Now. So we tried to keep it simple. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, all Shift Up Now.
All over the place. Well, I'll make sure I put links to those on Lynn's show notes page on the Cars Yeah website. Just go there and type in Lynn, Lynn, her last name, Kehoe, Kehoe, and you'll find everything she shared with us today. Great place. Keep up to date with what Lynn is doing. And if you have groups or things you might need women to come out and talk with your groups, whatever it might be, I think this would be a great resource for you to help inspire and drive people to places they've never been before. Lynn, thanks for being so generous today with your time and expertise and for sharing your many cool experiences with me and the listeners. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you down the road.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
You're welcome. You take care of your cars, but who takes care of your investments? Tune-ups aren't just for engines. Updating your financial plan is important too. Your GPS may take you from A to B, but it won't help you on the road to financial freedom. For that, you need a good co-pilot and a very trusted advisor. Chris Kimball, CFP, is just the man for the job. He'll guide you down that road without driving you crazy. For over 25 years, Chris has helped people just like you and me with their financial planning and investments. With a master's degree in financial services, he is eminently qualified, and he's a car guy too. Learn more at chrisvkimball.com or call 866-ON-A-PLAN. Securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp. Member FINRA SIPC. CK Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.